right. Welcome back, everybody, to KnowItAllDM Entertainment. I'm KnowItAllDM. How's everybody doing today? Today, we're going to be doing some more work on the Star Salvage Empyrion update mod. Update for the Star Salvage mod for Empyrion. So, let's go ahead and pop over to here. Like yesterday, or last stream, for those of you who weren't here or watching this out of, or anyway, last stream, we did a lot of work on getting the rank 10 missions and the final mission for the story mission of chapter 1 to work. More correctly, the beginning of it. I've been doing a lot of off-camera work towards this end, and right now I've got the rank 10 combat mission completed. Hasn't been tested yet, but it's completed. And I'm going ahead and starting work on the rank 10 engineering mission. Now, for the engineering mission, what I need to do, I can change this now because I know what I'm going to be calling it. Main story, Merryweather Engineer, Mission 1. All right, so means this will be the one that we need. That'll be an end because that will be what's triggering this. All right, so we need him to talk to Captain Livingston first, which is here. I can go ahead and do that. Okay. Now, I need to go double check some things. Yeah. That low memory thing still pops up all the time, and I don't know why. It doesn't seem to have an impact on how the game plays. It's just been popping up every now and then since like Alpha 4. Okay. So, engineering. Engineer Turner. Bug menu. Enable AI. Alright, so Engineer Turner. And then we've got these people that I turned off the AI for. So just looking. All right, so Engineer Turner is male. The doctor is female. And the helmsman come on. Helmsman is also female. Okay. I just need to know which pronouns they use. talk to him. Okay. In all of the logs, or most of the logs, I'm really as ambiguous when it comes to gender as possible, especially if you're not actually going to meet the person, just so that you can use your imagination, you know. But in some instances, using pronouns is required, so I had to decide which character models they were going to use for each of them. So I like how every time I activated the AI, this guy took a step, then took another step, then took another step. All right, so Engineer Turner. Not main. Player name. Oh, I also need to at 0. What this does, if you're wondering why I put it in front of almost every dialogue, this makes it so that you can't hit the escape button to get out of the dialogue and just ruin everything. So there are, unfortunately, for some reason, this does not work when used as a start message for dialogue. So I've been trying to strategically work around using dialogues as start messages. In some instances, for these, I have it where the Merryweather Rendezvous starts with no message, and then it just has a wait action for 1 and then gives you a message so you can't escape out of it. The reason for that is because escaping out of it breaks a lot of the storyline things, breaks a lot of the dialogues, and breaks a lot of the PDA missions. And yeah, just never hit escape in a dialogue and you'll be fine. But okay, so okay, let me see. I know what I want him to say. I don't know how I want him to say it. Hello, Mimikin. I'm hoping I said that correctly. Welcome to the chat. Nine engineer. .411 maintainer, welcome to the chat. Build more drive in order. Of our The engineering mission is going to be a really easy rank 10 mission. It's basically going to be, hey, give them a certain amount of resources. In fact, most of the engineering missions are easier than all the other missions. That being said, in order to complete the story missions, if you're just an engineer, the story missions themselves will be really hard. Yes, I'm always glad to give advice. Any questions you have about the scenario or Empyrion in general, just ask away and I'll give the best advice I can. Medic, Scout, then Engineer is a difficult line to play depending on what planet you start on. Starting on Mardorn, Tel, or Riata, it's not that bad. If you start on Toe Orbit, it'll be very difficult because being a medic up on the station or up on the Speedwell, trying to fight off Xerax can be very difficult. Possible, but difficult. Okay, so that's Captain. Yeah, Soldier or Engineer is actually best for the Speedwell start. Engineer, if you're planning on going out into space and trying to scavenge stuff, because the Engineer gets the environmental armor, which really, really helps with the temperature regulation in space early game. It doesn't completely mitigate it, but it allows you to stay outside of the Speedwell for at least 2 to 3 times as long as with just the oxygen suit. It's easiest with combat with on the Speedwell because you can build actual weapons. Oh yes, absolutely. I am definitely... Okay, so the entirety of the United Earth Fleet storyline is just chapter 1 of 4 chapters that I currently have planned. Each chapter will be at least as long as all the previous chapters combined. So chapter 2 will be at least as long as chapter 1. And then chapter 3 will be at least as long as chapter 1 and 2 combined. And then chapter 4 will be at least as long as chapter 1, 2, and 3 combined. Chapters chapters 2 and 3 will be set up in sort of a similar ranking style as chapter 1's rank missions, but they won't be based on the specialization you chose. There will only be one path to take, but each rank will take longer to take because they're actual missions you're going out and doing rather than just, you know, build this, put these on that, you know. So they'll be more involved going from rank 1 to 2 to 3. Chapter 2 will have 10 ranks that you can go through. And then chapter 3 will have, I want to say 20 ranks is what I have planned for chapter 3. The only specializations that are in there, that are gonna be in there, are the 4 that I have in there right now. In addition to the Starship Graveyard that I will be adding with this update, I plan on adding one more story starter, which is the Quarantine Planet starter. And then from there, once you achieve rank 10 of all the missions and finish the chapter 1 storyline, chapter 2 will actually be available for any player, including those who did not go through the chapter 1 storylines, who started on the other planets, such as Retis or Vingade, as the no story starters. They might actually be able to get to chapter 2 faster because they don't have to worry about going through missions. All they have to worry about is getting to level 25, getting to a certain tech level pretty much, and then like having the capabilities of warping to certain places, and then speaking to the right person, and it will activate chapter 2 for them, so that from that point on they won't be missing anything. I also plan on adding a starting planet that starts you right at chapter 2, so you don't even have to start in the chapter 1 area. It'll just it'll do like a couple of short missions and then throw you right into chapter 2, with some of the rewards and whatnot, getting you up to par on equipment and whatnot. And those will still use the no story starter specialization style, but instead of having no story, there will be a story for them to follow in addition to doing the specializations by level. You don't have to do all rank 10s in all 4 specializations to move on. Really, all you have to do is complete the story missions. Once you finish Fate of the Fleet, which will be the final story mission for UES Merryweather, which involves you finding out and completing all the story missions for all the other ships. Then you will be able to go to start chapter 2, whether or not you've actually finished the rank 10 missions. But completing the rank 10 missions gives you the option to unlock another specialization or gain 500 unlock points. So if you do complete all of the rank 10 specialization missions, you'll have at least 2,000 more unlock points to work with. So, right now, all the starting planets are large, which is like category 4. Okay, so the reason that the starting planets are all class 4 is because if I made them smaller, the faction ratio on the planet gets thrown out of whack. For example, right now there's a little bit of Polaris, a little bit of ISI, a little bit of Xerax. More Xerax and Polaris, or Xerax and ISI than Polaris, but what happens is if I make them size class 3, which is medium, it makes it so that there's a chance that there are no Polaris or no ISI, and it just, for some reason, throws the entire factions out of whack, making it where it's not as consistent. Also, larger starting planets is a little bit better for multiplayer. That's why I made them large rather than medium. I did try to start with them at medium, or actually I had it start where they were random between medium and large, but every time I got a medium planet, some of the mission POIs, some of the important non-mission POIs just weren't there. And I don't know why the game decided to do that, like why the random generator throws them out the window, but let's see. Shields require a lot of CPU power, making it difficult. The shields use vanilla CPU levels, and I'm just sticking with that. Everything that is a vanilla device uses vanilla CPU and power levels and statistics and everything, including crafting supplies and whatnot. I do have some that used raw ingots that now use components because you get more components than ingots just to make it easier to craft them. But when it comes down to the way they work, it's vanilla. And a lot of the stuff that I added, the salvage stuff, intentionally works a little less than vanilla, like than the full devices, just so that if you need to, you can use them, but if you have access to the full devices, you'll want to use them instead. Used to be aliens in some empty areas that we could loot and fight against. If you're talking about like the abandoned POIs, yes, those are intentionally taken away because the legacy is basically being wiped out and being pushed out of the galaxy. And so in the majority of the galaxy, Polaris has been hired to reclaim the POIs that the legacy had taken over. And that's why they are there. Now you can just go loot a few of the boxes that are there and get the loot without having to fight. But that's only for the main portion of the galaxy, which in reality is only going to be it's only going to be relevant in chapters 1 and 2. Once we get to chapter 3 and 4, you're going to be finding a lot of stuff. You're going to like the abandoned facilities are going to be there, but they're not going to be legacy infected. They're going to be ghost ship infected. And then, of course, chapter 4 is going to have completely unique POIs that either I created or someone else would have created with my guidance, with following guidelines I set out. Once I get to that point, I will actually be having competitions and stuff like, you know, saying, hey, I need POIs. So Legacy is going to be pretty much wiped out. If you want to fight Legacy, they're going to be in their own little bubble out in the middle of nowhere and you can fight them. But for now, there are not going to, like, the legacy themselves are being pushed back and out of the system. The Cursed Expanse, which is the outer rim of the galaxy, is where the ghost ships have been coming from, or where what I've been calling in my own, like, I haven't put it in the game yet, but I'm calling it the Ghost Light, which is the green illumination that's haunting these wrecks. And that phenomenon actually originated in the Lost Galaxy, which is going to be Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is going to be an entire new galaxy. So, there's a lot of stuff that I have planned for that. In fact, I can actually, in creative mode, go into the galaxy mode here and show you. All right. The territory mode, I'm just putting this on for now so I can get my bearings. Okay. So way out here is the legacy. And if all right, let's get headed that way and take off territories so you can see, once you get out to the edge of the visible galaxy, there's all these really tiny, faint dots. And as you get closer to them, you'll realize that they're ghost holes. Every one of these is basically, it's a black hole that somehow the ghost light turned the star into a black hole without causing a supernova first. So the planetary systems, like the planetary bodies in the system, are largely intact, apart from some that either got knocked out because of gravitational anomalies or whatnot. So rather than be as sparse as regular black hole systems, these ghost hole systems have more planets and such. Way out here, you've still got the legacy space, which is still, you know, the same type of stars and everything. It's just, that's pretty much the only place you'll be fighting legacy ships and finding legacy POIs. Everything else is going to be, like, extremely rare to ever find an actual legacy base in the main galaxy or out in the ghost systems. Now, from here, let's see if I can search systems. Bridge of Light, show on map. All right, so over here, way out on the edge of the galaxy, we've got what's called the Bridge of Light. And the Bridge of Light is a span of stars, of G-type stars with no system around them. And what these are, they're 110.5 light years apart. And you follow this bridge to get over to the Lost Galaxy. And as you can see, it's really far out here. So even once you get to the edge of the Lost Galaxy, right here, once you get to Bridge of Light 20, look back at the galaxy. That's the original galaxy right there. And this is the Chapter 4 galaxy is going to be here. And so, this is where Chapter 4 will take place. And as you can see, it's got an entire galaxy. And the reason I have it so far out is because I've got it so that the standard warp drives. Okay, so the warp drives, it's really important to pay attention to the light years and pentaxic costs of warp drives. So the standard warp drive is pentaxid AU and light year 1-to-1. In experimental technology, you can get the pentaxid at 0.25, so you use 25% of the pentaxid you otherwise would. In salvaging, you can actually build an experimental scrap warp drive, which, yes, it uses a lot of CPU and power, but because of the ability to decrease CPU usage and decrease power usage based on the ancient statuary and whatnot, this, you can go your standard warp jumps with no pentaxid use whatsoever. As long as you've got one pentaxid in the pentaxid tank, you can go anywhere you want. However, it does have a maximum range of the same as the normal warp drive. Now, the normal warp drive can be upgraded 6 times total, or 5 times total. The first 4 upgrades, maybe it's 6 times. Upgrade 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 simply increase the jump ranges for AU and light years by 5 light years per upgrade. And the final one upgrades it to the epic, but you need to find an epic warp drive CV kit, this thing. Yes. So devices. All right. So with the warp drives, upgrade 5 has 55 light years, plus with engineering increasing the range your light years can go. Even the advanced warp drive, which has a 75 jump, can't make the final the Bridge of Light jumps. However, there is this warp drive. The Victory drive is the best warp drive in the game. It uses half the pentaxid for both light year, intergalactic jump or interstellar jumps or interplanetary jumps. And it has the furthest range of any warp drive. The only way to get this is to finish Chapter 2, or during Chapter 2, you'll be gaining certain special currency, and then you can use that to buy the Victory drive, which will allow you to go into Chapter 4, jumping across the Bridge of Light. And these are the tokens you'll be using. I don't have an icon for them. They're not in the game yet. So, I did originally just start making Star Salvage for single player, but I've been trying to manage it so that it is usable in multiplayer. It's best in co-op. It's best in co-op if you're going to be doing multiplayer, working together with a small group. But it is also it is possible to do it multiplayer on a server, especially if players just start on different starter planets. Eventually, in fact, even before I get to Chapter 3, you'll notice that there's this big area out here called the Wasteland. This area is going to be designated as the PvP area, and all the rest of the galaxy is going to be a PvE area. So players who want to play PvP, all they have to do is simply come into the Wasteland and they'll be able to PvP with anyone else who's in there. But the rest of the majority of the galaxy will be PvE, because that's how I planned. You know, the game is primarily PvE. The ISI missions are going to be Chapter 2, and what they're going to basically do is have you going around from territory to territory, finding different types of salvage and bringing it back to ISI stations. Because that's what they do. You'll be a salvager. But while you're doing this, certain missions will lead you to areas that uncover more and more about the looming ghost ship threat. And once you reach rank 10, it will lead you into the final battle of Chapter 2, and then going into Chapter 3, which will basically be saying, hey, we need you to go out into the Cursed Expanse and basically find a way to stop the ghost ships from taking over the galaxy and converting the entire galaxy into ghost holes, like what happened with the Lost Galaxy. Which, of course, at that point, you won't know of the Lost Galaxy, but you will be uncovering lore that will hint at the Lost Galaxy until the middle of Chapter 3, in which case you'll actually the middle of Chapter 3 will actually you'll interact with certain elements that will, like certain NPC type elements that will inform you about what happened in the Lost Galaxy and why the ghost ships took over the Lost Galaxy. So I know we got a little bit of sidetracked from actually working on the update, but I enjoy, you know, getting people excited about the future of Star Salvage, because I'm excited about it. So, all right. In any case, where was I? I was, all right, I got that done. I'll go talk to him. That should finish that. And then talk to Engineer Turner. Now, here's where this is going to interact. The init is not going to have specific outputs. It's going to have a variety of outputs. Hey, TQC. I'm glad you're excited about it, because, like, even though this next update is just going to finish Chapter 1, knowing that there's so much coming up, that so much that I'm working towards, even myself, I can't help but get excited about it. Okay. What I need is this. So is PDA task is active. That is with this chapter. Okay, now I shouldn't need to get the chapter again. So it should be 1, 2, 3. And then this will be All right, this will be mission 1, which is where he's asking you or telling you what to do. That's this here. Oh yeah, the ISI missions, especially once you get the repeatable ones, you'll be able to do them over and over for tokens. But I'm planning on trying to make it so that it doesn't feel like you're grinding. It feels like each one that you do, even if it's the same mission, is an adventure to go get something different. So, even if it's actually retrieving the same type of device or item or whatnot, you won't have to go to the same place to get it. So, yeah, Star Salvage has been in 1.9 since soon after 1.9 came out. It's just called 1.8 Plus because I didn't have to do a whole lot to update it to 1.9. So there was no need in changing, in making a new scenario or anything. So until I have to rework a large portion of it, it'll be listed as 1.8 Plus. I'm guessing when Empyrion update 2.0 comes out, whatever they do with that will require some major updates and revisions. But until we get to that, it's probably just going to be 1.8 Plus. So, I mean, I could rename the same scenario, but I don't see any real reason to do that because, I mean, now, what I need to know, because really they just need a basic warp drive. And what they have on hand here is the stuff that was available from Earth. So, a basic warp drive will require Sathium plates. Actually, I could just do this. So what they are missing for a warp drive are oscillators and Sathium plates. Now, oscillators, you should be able to have oscillators from Earth. I don't know why I didn't put them in here. So really, all they need is a load of Sathium. Specifically Sathium plates in order to build a warp drive. Where's here? Sathium plates. 100 Sathium plates is all they need to build a warp drive. So, and of course, engineering components, which they wouldn't have the scrap and whatnot. So, how can I make this more interesting for the engineer? Because this is an older style of ship, they might need, once they get the warp drive, the capability to build the warp drive, right? They might need, oh, also I need to, I'll put it up here. And it occurs to me I might need to do this on the Bonneville as well. Okay. Then really I just need to that. There. Go. Now there's a ventilator in here. Okay. There. Okay. Let's... I really shouldn't have to worry about it with the Bonneville because the player will be in a suit of some kind anyway, as will they in here. But in here, you've got other people walking around and you don't want them going into the elevator areas when there's no oxygen and just being able to exist. So you got to make it realistic in that way. In any case. Okay. So we've got the Merryweather, I believe, pretty much finished. We've got the garden. We've got instructor room. We've got medical bay. And we've got the cargo. I think I'm going to have the engineer give you the code to open this. That's right, those you can't change the, but can do that. And then I can that. Okay. So now when you open this, it opens down and you can just walk over this. Okay. Right, so all they need is a bunch of Sathium plate. How can I make this more interesting? Perhaps instead of, yeah, crushing hazard with the thing. Dad and Dax, welcome to the stream. Perhaps instead of just giving them the parts for the new warp drive, because they have everything they need except for Sathium plates. Perhaps I could have them also require some sort of adapter to adapt their older technology to the newer warp drive, because the older warp drives that they had were from Earth, which in theory, you know, would have been not as good. I mean, they didn't use pentaxid fuel, they used some other type of fuel for their warp drive. Hence the reason none of the cryo ships have pentaxid tanks. So in that case, I suppose what could I have the engineer have to craft something? That is something that is an interesting thought. A warp drive adaptation kit. Thinking about it, I could augment the way that the warp drives are upgraded. I mean, yes, right now you use a full warp drive to upgrade the warp drive after the first warp drive. Because the first warp drive, you just use the parts to upgrade it. In theory, salvaged alien warp core. More than likely, it would need an older component of some sort because the ships themselves are older. Maybe they need a salvaged UCH warp core in order to, or maybe the schematics of a UCH warp drive in order to convert modern technology to be adaptable with similar technology in the past. And actually, that's not a bad idea. The only issue is we would need to have to somehow have them have knowledge of the UCH. The people in the Merryweather would not have said knowledge, but the player learned about it if you started on the Snow Planet. I know what I could do. That's actually a good idea. Deriving off of that, thank you, Dad and Dax, for that suggestion. That actually gives me an idea. So the first thing I need to do, instead of this, again, unfortunately, let's see. The warp drive schematics that we have don't seem to be compatible with warp drive schematics we have don't seem to be compatible with our technology. Actually, let me do this. He seems to be having trouble adapting with adapting a device built with, just go, adapting a warp drive built with resources from this galaxy, adapting the warp drive Thank you, Frank2958. Yes, here's the thing. If you want it to be harder from the start, play the harder starts. The easy and medium starts are easy and medium for a reason. When I get the quarantine starter in the game, not to mention some of the later starts, it will start getting harder and harder from the beginning. So to put it in perspective, right now I've got an easy, a medium, a hard, and a very hard. The quarantine starter is going to be an ultra hard, and then I plan on having the chapter 2 starter is not going to be that hard. It's probably going to be a medium start, but the chapter 3 starter, that's just going to throw you into the deep end of chapter 3 from the beginning, is going to be even harder than the quarantine planet start. And I don't know what I'm going to call it. Extreme difficulty, maybe. But needless to say, it's each additional starter location that I add is going to increase the difficulty for a lot of them. Also, there's going to be a lot of no story starts that don't correspond with the story starters. For example, there's going to be a no story start where you start on a lava planet, which is going to be I don't know if it's going to be an ultra start or if it's going to be a very hard start. But either way, starting on a lava planet is going to be extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. Okay. Having trouble adapting the warp drive built with resources from this galaxy to technology of our Earth-built ship. Great help if you could and maybe come up with a solution to it goes live as soon as I finish it. So the reason I'm doing the streams is so that I don't get discouraged in doing it, because it's been difficult for me maintaining focus on working on the update when a lot of it is typing texts and going back and forth between the PDA and the dialogues, and it's a lot of mental annoyance. And so having someone I can share the experience with can keep me focused, even though I do diverge occasionally to talk about the scenario. I got, like, last night on the previous stream, I got more done in 3 hours than I'd gotten done in the last 2 weeks. So I'm trying to expedite the scenario by doing streams of me working on the update. So okay, we're gonna together. I'll go talk to him. Then you go talk to him here, and yeah, once I get this update done, I'll be able to do a whole nother playthrough, possibly co-oping or collabing. We're doing a co-op game with other people. And after I get the next update out, after this update that I'm working on, I'm gonna set up a server for streamers / YouTubers, content creators. And the way that I would want it to go is that each different content creator that joins the server starts on a different planet, so that they each have a unique point of view of the scenario going from the beginning, and also so that they don't run into the issue of someone's resources already being grabbed up by a different content creator. And so far, the content creators I've contacted seem to be interested in it. People like Dad and Dax, Reaper Gaming, Raccoona, who else did I contact? Even Spange said if he's got time and whatnot with everything he's got going on, he'd like to join. So that's something that I'm looking forward to. I just need to push myself to get the updates out. So, oh yeah, Greedy Crow was one of the other ones that I contacted who said he would be up for it. I think I contacted him. If not, I need to. No, I did not. Chimpy13, Spange, Zystars, Reaper Gaming, and Dad and Dax are the ones who have said yes. I need to contact Greedy Crow. And yes, I'm pulling up Discord on my third monitor right now to contact him. Where is... Pretty sure I have been... Where if not? Who... Maybe not. I need to send him an invitation to that somehow. Okay, well, the easiest way is pull up his YouTube channel and slap a comment on one of his videos. I'll do it on his last.
Hello.
Empyrion. Big comment. Big comment. Okay. And I'll just slap the like button on. I enjoy watching everyone who plays Star Salvage, so yes, I'm trying to get a massive Star Salvage multiplayer collab going once I get this update and the next update. So right now, like I said, I've got 6 players, including myself, who have said that they're on board for it and would like to do it. I've got a total of 11 starting planets that will be out at that time. Vagra will be the quarantine starter, which will be in the next update, not this upcoming update. And the desert, lava, and quarantine no story starters will also be on that next update. So, so this is where I've got it. You know, I'm planning for the future best I can. Okay. So let's see, where was I? Oh yes, you're talking to the engineer. Now, that's just a placeholder text, but I want to put it in there. Well, I've temporarily put a hold on my Let's Play of it because I've been trying to push to get the update out, but I may start back with it sometime soon. I'm almost done with all the content that's in the game in my Let's Play, which is why I started putting it on hold. I'll probably end up just restarting with the new update once I get it out. So, okay. Putting this on hold, putting the dialogue portion of it on hold for a moment. What I need, so what I want to do is I want items config, story trade useless items. Let's come down to the bottom. Copy this, paste it here, 3813. This UCH warp schematic. Custom icon, I will leave that as it is for now, but I will take that icon away once I get a custom, actual custom icon in there for it. Okay. Now, what I can do okay. I think I know what I want to do now. Somehow, I'm going to have to make it so the player knows of the UCH, even if they didn't start on the tow orbit. Which means what I need to do, especially because it's the tow orbit, no, it's the tow orbit storyline that teaches them about it. So, what I can do, if I pull this up, all right, look at the logs. Okay, that's the Speedwell. That's the first mission log. Fine. Medical log. It doesn't look like anyone on the Speedwell actually learned about the UCH before they were taken over. So I do need to make sure that on this, okay, yeah. So this doesn't mention the UCH. Speedwell was attacked by aliens known as the Xerax, lured to a snow junkyard planet named Toe by a UES signal. Called a UES signal because it was a UCH signal, but it was also used by the United Earth Fleet, UES signal. Orbital junkyard. Light crew was killed by the Xerax, but many of the cryo chambers remained operational. Okay, so only... Well, I could do that. Make it easier for the people who started in the speed well. And that's easily enough done because I have it set to give you a string that signifies which starting cryoship you started on. And the if then thing, all right, for example, I come to main story Merryweather Engineer Mission 1. Okay. I can put an option in here. What I'll need to do is have the init. See, this is the important part. I need to have the init variable S cryoship DB player string. Okay. Now let me put this as an end. This will be an end for now, but I can do if S cryoship equals my S speed. Might need the brackets, I might not need the brackets, I don't know. I can figure it out. Snow story 1. Because it will follow the same as the, okay, yeah. So that QES Speedwell, main story engineer mission. All right, if the cryoship, if S cryoship is equal to UES Speedwell, then we can do this. Because in order for the Speedwell to get this far, you will have done that mission, probably. Technically, it's not necessary for you to have done it. So what I can do, and let me come back to here, add this variable, I speed story, DB player int. Then I can copy it from week 2. And I can do greater than or equal. So come back down here. So whether or not you've done the final, the Merryweather story telling them about it or not, which would turn that to 2, greater than or equal to 1. So you finished the UES Speedwell story and started with that. What if we used to adapt and then that will require me to do mission 1B And mission 1B. That doesn't matter if you escape it or not, because that's just a text saying, hey, you're not on the mission. What's the UCH? Is a... It's not called a descendant. What is the name or the terminology used for an organization that is a successor to a previous organization? I guess successor would be... I guess if the UEF is a predecessor, or United Earth is a predecessor to the UCH, a successor is... Okay. That should all show up as one big click button. And then... I could make it a semi-open-ended mission where there's no specific location to go to, but rather random ships that you may have already found might have what you need. Okay, so what I'm going to do now put that as an end for now. Because, all right, rank 10 create. What I need is some derelict UCH vessels. These would be vessels that became derelicts before the entire fleet disappeared. Because the remainder of the fleet will be found in the UCH Starship Graveyard out in the Cursed Expanse as part of Chapter 3. Alright, so let's back off a little bit. Give us some room. Okay. All right, well, that is the Ashen Starter. We don't need that. All right, so take Pelican. That is basically a Pelican CV tutorial trim. Interesting. The new Empyrion, which is apparently an older UCH vessel, which is weird. I don't know if I want to use the Titan Cruiser for these. I will eventually have a derelict Titan capital vessel out there. Colony vessel. They're still using cryo sleepers apparently. So I'm at the very least going to need to turn one of these maybe turn a couple of these into derelict vessels. Probably not going to turn all of these into derelicts, but at the very least, some of these will have been wiped out. Are you facing the wrong way? Oh. Yeah, this is facing the wrong way. Because this is the front, over here, and this is the back over here. All right. Okay. All right. Let's get rid of. Not going to use this one or this one. They're a little bigger than I want. Same goes for this one. 69 and 68. This one is too big. 59. I'll leave the Pelican since it's a so all right, so the Pelican's a semi-iconic freighter because of the Pelican wreck that was on the starting planet for the longest time. All right, so I think these 6 will make good UCH Rex. Or UCH Derelicts. So what I'm going to do now is set up a gauntlet. What do I call it? Oh, of course, it needs to be on base. There we go. Star Salvage Damager. All right, so Okay, one more. All right, so we now have 10 turrets. Let's see, that starts from 1479 to, it would be 1469. Actually, it would not be 69. It would be there. Because 69 would have been over here. What? Oh. Maybe that's this one. I'm confused. Okay, apparently there is no 1469. That would have been one that I deleted probably. Let's see. Yep, I deleted 1469, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay. Now, turn AI on. Need to all right, let's turn the AI off for a second. I need to find where I set up those satellites. Where's my gauntlet? There's my gauntlet. Okay. So down here. Where I need to wait. Okay. So we'll fly towards the gauntlet point so that the things will be able to hit us, but we won't be flying straight at them. Okay. Do want to make sure I got plenty of fuel. Shields and all that don't matter because I want to take damage. Okay. Enable AI. And this should fly close enough that the turrets Alright. And we will get to 50% speed this time. That way we'll take a little bit more damage. Okay. Still have a core. They just took out the generators, which is fine. What I'm going to do now... Alright. Let's make sure, I think, and I'm pretty sure I do have these set, yeah, for... They all attack generator. Right. So what I need to do now... set up some hardpoint targets for them. Places I want damage specifically on the ship that I want them to aim for. Alright, they already took out those thrusters. Okay. They did a good number on that. I'm thinking the generators may have been in there. I don't know. Alright, they did a good hull damage there. I think these last two hard points ought to be good. And I want this... Let's see. Easier to hit it from above, probably. Through the cockpit. Blow's not bad either. Probably want them to hit it from the front. So what I want to do... Alright, let's... Front and bottom. I want them to hit it from that direction. Right there. So that took a good pounding right there. Maybe one more shot will take out the core. Didn't shoot at this. See if I present that as a bigger target, they'll shoot at the wing this time. One more good shot that direction. Because they hit the wing I wanted them to. Not a whole lot of damage to it, but fine. The other wing is hurt worse. So there we go. That's a good shot. Now, we'll save this as a preliminary. Save damage states, save as SS underscore UCH derelict 1. So now I've got it saved in its current state as a derelict. All right. Now, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and put some target points on this. Interesting. Okay. We'll put this there. Where is the core? Alright, core is here. It's going to be close to the targeted locations anyway because of these. So they might take the core out before finishing taking the generators out, which is fine. Okay. Now, go ahead and enable AI. Get us up to 50%. And then when we get to about 1 kilometer, I'll start rotating. All right. I can see the satellites. I'm going to go ahead and start. Okay. On. All right, so it's not the generator. It is the. This is why I like to carry. That. Okay. So they did enough damage to take the core out. Okay. Decent amount of damage to the hull, which is good. There aren't a whole lot of gaping blocks apart from back here. So when they wiped out the warp core, they wiped out the actual. The generators are still there and everything. We just need a core and it's good to go. Which is actually fine. But I do think that I want to do one more pass. I'm going to put another actual core on there. I'm going to put it up here where this damage has been done. And I'm just going to make a straight shot as close to them as I can. Okay. Yeah, and that should have wiped out the generator. That's what I wanted. Okay, now I can get rid of 4. Good amount of damage back there. I can turn a lot of that into junk blocks. Okay, now we can save this as, what was it? SS UCH derelict 2. $1460. Okay. Yeah, TKC. I've seen how you've converted some of them, and that's how I originally did. Is just one, like, block at a time for the smaller things. Then I realized I can get legitimate hardpoint type damage by setting up, defensive satellites, specifically these, and then using generators to set specifically where I want the damage to occur, so that certain things are damaged and others are not. Like, for example, here, the generators are up here. The core is over here to the side. So if I want this core damaged, I can just put an Arrhenius generator right there on the interior. And they'll probably just take the core out. Now, after I get all of these damaged with legitimate hardpoint damages, I am going to come back and, you know, convert some of the empty spaces into destroyed blocks and whatnot. But this gives me damage that appears to be authentic, so that when I convert it, it's in authentic areas. Okay. So this, now re-enable the AI. All right, yeah, let's get you to 50%. Yeah, this way is a lot easier. That's why I set it up like this. I've been doing this, like when I make the ghost ships, this is how I turn them into ghost ships. I just ran them through a gauntlet like this, and then you know, converted them into minor parts of them into junk, and then threw green lights on them, you know, changing the fuel tanks to ectoplasmic fuel tanks and whatnot. But I'm hoping they don't destroy that big engine at the back, because I would like to keep that on it. But if they destroy some of the smaller ones around it, that would be great. Although they just destroyed like the entire back. I don't think this thing was made of hardened steel. Okay. Alright, so no core. Throw that on as a core generator. You got a fuel tanks too? You have no fuel tank. Alright. And honestly, I could leave the majority of this damage here. I would like to retain some of the back portion. Let's see. Here's what I'm going to do. Save as UCH derelict 3. Okay, so the gauntlet that I have here, there's specific damage satellites that I set up. They're using the what core is it that they're using? I think it's the Mysterious Alien core, right? Yeah, core Mysterious. They're using this core, which it acts as a generator. So, and it's got just a fuel tank, that core, and another fuel tank. And So the core acts as the generator as well. And I just put a bunch of all different types of turrets on it. Rocket turrets, the standard plasma turrets, and laser turrets. And that way it gets a variety of different types of damage. Got one rocket on the top, one laser on the bottom, then a bunch of the plasmas. And then for some minor damage, I put the sentry guns. So they do a whole bunch of little minor things. And I just put a whole bunch of them. The more damage I want on a ship, the more platforms I put out. And I just make them all Xerax and then send my things through the gauntlet. Okay, so let's come back over to here where the ships are. Now, I'm gonna do that same one again. That was the... Which one was that? I believe that was the UCH. It was one of the freighter. Was that the gas freighter? I believe so. Let's just take a quick derelict 3. Yeah, that was the gas freighter. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to run a second gas freighter through the gauntlet. But what I'm going to do but I'm converting the entire hull into combat steel. Okay. Now the entire hull is combat steel. So it won't get eaten away as quickly. But I'm still going to put a generator there so they aim for the core. But what I'm also going to do Are those the only other two generators? Yeah, okay. So all the generators are back here. But now the hull itself shouldn't get as destroyed. And now when this takes damage, most of the hull should remain intact. clear it to... That should be good. Okay. More of the rear got destroyed than I was hoping, but the core's right there. So if I now let's see. Alright, where's this shit? Right here. Core is, I believe, right through there. Yeah. So if I put a few well-placed Hellfire shots, take out the core, no problem. Leaving the majority of the back here intact. So now I just slap this on. Level it out. Spawn in the other one. Yeah, it is actually really fun doing it this way. Now, you'll notice a lot of the blocks in the back are at negative hit points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to no, I need to just make my own one because all right, I need to do one for Star Salvage that I haven't done yet. Star Salvage, give me structural repair emitter. And go ahead and go 4. And then we just need alright, so Actually, yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. And a cockpit. I need a cockpit. Why is it doing that? Why is it drifting like that? That's weird. Yeah, ship drift. Weird. With hold on. Place them with those. That's right. Thruster. There we go. Alright. Now that should be a little bit better. Alright. Come on, let's get a good. Okay, you need to stop drifting. There we go. That's fine. Now we can get the blocks repaired, and then I can just go through and damage pelt what we have. Really, I want to make sure the blocks back here get properly repaired. Okay, it just says structural repair emitter. I can't see the health of the blocks, but I can see how damaged they are by looking at them. This is going to take a little bit, because I don't have it set to the fastest repair mode. I could maybe. All right, I'm gonna have to do this. This is what I'm gonna have to do, right? Load into here. Make it a survival game. Difficulty. I'm just gonna do fast. No, I can do instant. Okay. Then load back in, and it should be repaired. Obviously, that was going to happen. But I got to turn to a creative mode before that happened. Yes, I died. Thank you. Okay. So this should be all repaired now, or the majority of it repaired. Maybe it doesn't take into account the settings after it goes back to a creative mode. That's interesting. Alright, what I need to watch are those blocks. Okay, they're being repaired now. The reason I'm using this as the repairer is because if I don't, then if I try to use the multi-tool, it will actually destroy the blocks because it won't repair them well enough. Alright, so we're going to let those repair. While we do, alright, you're already leveled out. No. You're the one who's not leveled out. Let's see what we've got going on. Some of them are still in the negatives. However, it might not matter that much once I do this. And that is right. That is that. So I should able to really, I should do this one more ahead. I should do it from here. Do it like that. Okay. Eh. Right there. Now, these I believe are all undamaged now, which means I need to use you. Okay. There we go. Now everything here should have some damage. All right. Let's hit those with a little extra oomph. All right, now generators in this one are still here. Anyway, I can see the generators from outside. Yes, through here. Right there. So alright, generators are now gone. But the most of the hull is still intact. All right, now we can save this over that and destroy this. All right. Let's see. All right, you are similarly built and similarly very similar design. I'm going to do the same thing with this next to the core, which I believe is again right there. But I'm going to fly it a little bit faster through the gauntlet this time, hoping maybe it won't take as much damage. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Well, let's see. That is still there, which I like. I can probably work with it. I mean, those are gonna have to go. As is that. But the rest of it's not bad. I am gonna want to damage Pelt. Since I kept the majority of the damage on the back. Okay. And then interesting. All right, let's log out real quick and log back in because it looks like something's gone buggy on it. Okay. Four. Okay. All right. 4 on you is here. Again, right near the back, near the warp drive. So let's put this here. Looks like those will be targeted as well anyway. All right. Okay. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. Got some minor damage in there. Yep, lost one of those. Let's just go ahead and... Okay. Alright, took out one generator, left one generator here. Rid of that. Okay. And then one more. And this one I think has, I don't know if it's more heavily armored, but it is larger. Yeah, it's not any more heavily armored. Well, some of it is, which is good. Alright. Let's put you... $74%. Yeah, we can go full. That's fine. Not sure where its core is. But this one, we may not need it to even shut down. We can just take a bunch of damage. Maneuvers really well. All right, generator's off. All right, so there's already a core. It's lost the generator, which is fine. All right, let's take a look and see what we do still have. No generators. It's got all the extenders and the core. Let me find where the core is, and I can... All right, the core is back here. It is needing a... Actually, I can just... Now, can we see the extenders from here? Or are they... elsewhere? Like the extenders may be elsewhere. I'll leave one tier 4 extender. Okay, they're all up here. Interesting. That way it looks like there maybe have been some attack from the side. Okay. That's weird. That's not damaged, but it looks like it's gone. I mean, it's damaged, but it's like, it's actually there. That's weird. But, okay. And there we go. Now, where are my gauntlets? Point. So, there we go. Now, I'm not going to be able to do this all today, but got a lot of things spawning in over. Let's get rid of some of this. These I haven't finished working with yet. Get rid of that. And we're mostly working over here on the Merryweather. But I can go ahead and spawn these back in. Okay, so these should all be coreless, generatorless, and heavily damaged. And so I will start turning these into fully derelict vehicles once I Probably after I've gotten some sleep because it's getting late here. But I do want. Let's see. Now, not all of them have the warp core still here. But I want to see if yeah, okay. I can put consoles nearby. So, I want to put console on each of these. That says, let's see. No, I need to have it tied in with these. So, it's tied in with the engineer. Let's call it UCH warp BP. Copy. You don't have a warp drive, but you did. So if I were to put this here. Okay. Generators here. Warp drive was down here, I think. You still have your warp drive. You still have your warp. Alright, so. Oh, there's already one here. Perfect. Your warp drive is here. Oh, need that up. That's where your core was. I can replace one of these. That. Okay. Now these are temporary ones, but they are usable for the missions. Okay, so now they all have a terminal in them. I will eventually go through and pretty them up, make them look like, you know, damaged derelicts rather than just bunches of blocks missing. But for now, I do have them in here. Now, what I need, group name, derelict, spawn named, derelict UCH. Copy. Okay. Now that I have all those set, I can just exit this. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and all right, UCH derelict, copy, paste. Now, certain playfields, I'm going to want these to be able to appear in. They're all going to be space playfields. First, space warp target. Maybe warp target cursed. Space empty, empty cursed. Asteroid field. Okay. Oh. Hammock. I'm going to move this off real quick so I can just... Okay. Back. All right, these. Save that. All right, these are the ones I believe. Okay, the looks like cursed versions. All right, the cursed versions do not. All right, so these all have derelict CV. What I want now, I can copy, paste, and it was SS UCH derelict. Okay. Make sure. Okay, so now everywhere that there's a derelict capital vessel chance, there's a smaller chance to find a UCH derelict vessel. And so what I'm going to do is all right, so and I'll add a third option here. This is going to be the I don't have the item and I don't know what the UCH is. So this one is going to be and that will be as item. What did I call it? DH warp scope. Okay. All right. That's going to be it for this stream. I hope everybody enjoyed it. It's been really fun. I went a little bit over the 3 hours I was planning, but I got stuff done, which is the important thing. So I'm probably going to keep working on this tomorrow. I probably won't be streaming again until maybe Friday. But I'm going to keep working on this. I'll probably get the engineering missions done maybe by Friday. And then once we get the engineering missions, the medical missions, and the scout mission, the exploration missions completed, Then I'll start working on the storyline for the Starship Graveyard. And that's going to be something that's going to be really interesting once I start working on it. But I wanted to get the final missions done first. And then, because with the Starship Graveyard, I'm going to have to do pretty much 7 ranks for each specialization just for that one, because you'll notice that each individual one pretty much has 7 ranks of their own, depending on the starter planet, with engineering sharing between the arid and temperate, as well as sharing combat. But the exploration and medical are completely split up by planet. And I had to do that to intertwine them with their storylines, as well as to make them relevant for the starting planets. Like, for example, on the snow planet, for exploration, you go ahead and make your you locate the alien signal. There isn't a build a scout vessel on the snow planet, because if you started in space as exploration, you probably already built a small vessel in space before you got down and started your rank missions. So same with engineering, it skips over the build a hover vessel, build a small vessel type thing. And so it starts with the basics, and that's engineering here. Basics, and then it goes to resource gathering, and then to a CV. Now, when I do go back and redo the ranks, I'm probably going to replace the derelict orbital station mission with an outfitting your capital vessel mission. So rather than placing all this stuff on a derelict orbital station, it'll be, placing it on a capital vessel, and then the previous mission that has you do the capital vessel thing will actually be a advanced base, but it won't have to be the derelict orbital station. It'll be any base that you can put, some of the additional stuff on. That way it's, more generic. It's not as railroading as it is right now. I will probably keep one of them, maybe the temperate one. I'll probably keep the temperate engineering, and then I'll split off the arid from the temperate, creating an entirely separate one for arid, and have the temperate one where you find the derelict orbital station, because it's an easy start, so it might railroad you a bit more. And then with the arid one, it's just any base, whereas the derelict orbital station will still work for it. It just won't require you to use that one. And then for the snow start, it's definitely going to get rid of the derelict orbital station requirement. The stations will all still be in orbit, obviously, but it won't require you to claim an orbital station. That being said, I am working on adding a different variety of derelict orbital station. I really want to get about 20 different varieties of derelict orbital stations, but right now I'm working on one other whenever I get the chance to, between, working on the scenario. This is the last thing I want to show you guys before I head out. I am exhausted. But 55, 50, 7,500. All right, so this is what I'm working on. So I've got, this is the current derelict orbital station. This is the fully repaired version of it, orbital station Alpha. And what I'm doing right now is I'm actually converting a new orbital station Beta, and it's got similar components. As you can see, it's still got this is sort of a combination of the two docking bays and the cargo bay. Whereas this one has this cargo bay here, and then this docking bay here. The orbital station Beta combines them into one area. So you've got your landing zones, but you also have storage capacity for it. And then we've got over here is a larger garden area. Over here is the habitation wing, which is virtually identical to the one on Station Alpha. And then out this way, you have your medical bay and your mess hall. So it's got a little different layout. I haven't finished furnishing them, obviously. And then you've got your little central hallway here rather than the big circle around the center. And then engineering is down here. And you'll notice it looks virtually identical to the engineering on the main station on Alpha. So it's just a secondary design that I'm working on for the orbital station. This upper part here, I'm planning on basically putting this on top, but I'm gonna try to make it a little bit smaller. Instead of having it so big and wide like on Station Alpha, it's going to be smaller, just a little bit larger than this central circle here, so that it doesn't look like a big floppy head on top of it. But it's going to have this same central tower and radars on it. It's just going to look a little bit different. But that's what I'm working on for Star Salvage. I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you did, on watching it on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like button. Watching it on Twitch, hit whatever enjoyable buttons Twitch has. I'm not very knowledgeable about Twitch's stuff yet. I just restarted streaming on Twitch as well with these, so. But again, thank you all for watching. You guys are awesome, and I'll see you guys in the next episode or next stream or whatever. I'm KnowItAllDM, and as always, y'all have a good day now.